Hey, Tanner James, DJ TJ. You are listening to the Peak Period Podcast, episode 26. Episode 26, and this is it time to go full time? Is it time to go full time as a DJ? And we are going to get right into this topic in just a second. But first, I want to make sure that you are connected with me. Look, I want you to hit me on my social media, okay? I'm going to give you the Facebook, the YouTube, the Instagram. It's all at DJ TJ Training. DJ TJ Training. If you go on my website, you can go and click and find all that stuff there. Hit me on there. Reach out to me. I like talking to you guys and I want to reach out to you guys. I want you guys to talk to me. I want to communicate with you guys. I want to help you guys. If you have a question, hit me. I want to help you. All right. So hit me on there. I really love it when you guys reach out and say, hey, I was listening to your podcast, X, Y, and Z. Hey, I really liked what you said here. What about this? All that kind of stuff. I really, really love it. I love interacting with you guys, and I want to help you actually book more gigs. I want to help you get out there and become a better DJ. So that is why I love it when you guys connect with me. So if you are not on my Facebook, if you are not on YouTube, if you aren't on Instagram, if you aren't on any of that, hit me on there. You can hit my personal account. Just search my name. You'll find me. DJ TJ916 is all of my personal stuff. But the question that so many DJs ask, so many DJs just want to know, when do you go full time? When's it time to go full time? And I kind of have a funny answer, but it's very real. And I think a lot of DJs, I think when you start DJing, you think it's cool. And you think it's like, okay, it's a hobby, right? It's cool. It's a cool thing to do. I can make a little bit of money at it. It can be a cool side job, whatever. But then you start getting to a point where where you are thinking, is it possible that like this is actually like I could actually like make real money at this and actually do this? And then that's like the second stage. The third stage is where you get actually like you get closer and you're like, okay, like I'm actually making money at this now. Like this isn't like a DJ. I'm like actually making money. Like this is a business. And then you get to a point where you're like, okay, I have to go full time now because I'm going to make more money here than I do at my regular job. And we'll get into that and all that kind of stuff. But whenever DJs ask me, hey TJ, hey Tanner, when is it time to go full time? When's it time to switch and make this my full 100% job? And seriously, I get questions all the time. When's it time to go full time? And the answer I say is, if you are asking if it's time, it's not time. Okay? If you are asking if it's time to go full time as a DJ, it's not time for you. It's not. Okay? And I'm sorry, but that is just the simple answer. You will know when it's time. You will just know that it's time to go full time. And it's kind of crazy, but that is how it is. And so you will get to a point where you're like, okay, like it is time. And I'm going to give you some I don't want to say targets, but maybe some signs that you're like, okay, now, yeah, it really is time to go full time. And so again, if you are asking like, hey, I'm working a lot, is it time? It's probably not time. Okay, it's probably not. 99.7% of the time, it's not time to go full time right now. Now, that doesn't mean you can't go full time. But the thing that you have to realize is when you go full time as a DJ and you aren't, let's just say you're single, okay? When you have a job, you have the health insurance, you have the medical insurance, you have the dental insurance, you have the vision insurance, right? You get all those benefits. You may even have some retirement going on. And you get some other benefits like time off and those kinds of things. When you switch to being a full-time DJ, you don't get that. That is non-existent. You don't get retirement. You don't get insurance. You have to go out and buy your own health insurance, your own medical insurance. And so I think one of the main things is you have to think this out. And think it out in advance. If you want to make this your full-time job and you want to be a professional and you want to actually do this, you have to think it out. Don't just say, oh, well, I'm working, 4 gigs a month, 5, 10, however many gigs a month. It'll be fine. I'll make it work. No. Because this is the thing about business. It will be much harder than you expect. And, we live in a generation now where if you look online, you see all these people making money from their bed, making money from their room, making money from their apartment, making money from their house, whatever it is. And let me crush the stereotypes for you. That's BS. Okay. There is no such thing as a very successful business run from your house. Okay. Or from your bed. And I have some people right now that, some friends of mine who are like trying to do this money thing where like all you have to do is post ads on social media and you make a bunch of money. Look, it's all BS. Okay. Business will be the hardest thing you do. And when you go full time as a DJ, it will be extremely, extremely hard because there will be days where you want to call in sick, but you can't. And I'm not talking just about event days. I'm talking about just normal days. Like you just don't want to get out of bed. You are so tired. You are beat down. Your marketing's not working. Your just things are not going your way. You had everything lined up for this event. You double booked on purpose. You're gonna bring on another DJ to your team. He flakes on you a week out. You're the guy who you were gonna rent some trust from isn't responding, and now you're getting paranoid. And then the speaker guy, like there will be issues, and owning your own business is extremely hard. So if you think that you can just go from plain, I'm a DJ, and just like make this little switch and like everything's going to change for you, that is completely wrong, because now you have a lot more stuff on your plate. This is not just you're a DJ anymore. You are owning a business. You own a business. And if you want to make this your full-time job, you cannot be light on anything. You cannot not worry about a bad review. You cannot not worry about an event. You can't, you have to be on it at all times. You have to be professional at all times. You have to be good to go at all times. And you have to be able to, what's the word? Have the, I don't want to say, I guess courage is a good word. Have the, I guess courage would be the best word, to get out there, spend that money on marketing, get out there and run that campaign, get out there and spend that money on whatever it is. And you have to bite the bullet. I saw something recently and it said, if you want to be the boss, you have to boss up. That means paying at dinner. And I was kind of like reading it and I'm like, wow, that's so true, because everybody says they want to be a boss. Everybody says they want to be at the top. Everybody says they want to own their own business until the check comes, till the bill comes, and you don't want to pay it. And, it's hard to do. It really is. And it's easy to just pull back, but that's where this whole thing is coming in. If you want to be the boss, if you want to be at the top, you have to do what the people at the top do. And that's just one part of it. But getting back to kind of the DJing side of it, if you want to go full time, just know that it's going to be harder. It's going to be more stressful. Your livelihood is now depending on this stream of income. And if you have a slow month, you have to be prepared for that, because trust me, it'll happen. It will happen. You will have slow months. You will have a month that out of nowhere, it's like, what? The normal busy season, you will be coming into it and you're going to be like, okay, this is kind of odd. Like, why is my calendar not as full as it was last year or the last 3 years? It will happen. Okay. You have to be able to provide for yourself. And, so one of the things that you need to do is have some kind of emergency fund and have money saved so that if something happens, you can have the ability to not worry about it. Because this is what happens, okay? If you are, if you're going into a season, let's just say summer, the busy season, you're going into summer season, and for some reason your calendar's not as filled and you're getting closer, and let's say it's getting closer to June. Now you're a week out from June, and now you're in June, and you get a client coming to you. What you're going to do is you are either going to drop your prices or you're going to pressure them, because that's just how it goes. You're going to be desperate. You're going to want that money pretty bad. You're going to be pressuring all your clients, and that's just how it's going to be. And trust me, I know what you're thinking right now. Oh no, if I have so much work, that will never happen to me. Trust me. It will happen. It will happen. So what you need to do is you need to be prepared for it. Have some money saved. You do not touch that money. It is completely oh crap, I don't have any gigs coming in. I don't have any events. I don't have any money coming in. What do I do? And it's going to depend on you, and it's going to depend on your city. It's going to depend on how much you normally make. But you need to be able to track out your expenses and see how much you're going to spend every month, how much you need to have on hand, how much you need to have for your life. Dave Ramsey is a financial guy, and he's really good at this kind of stuff. So grab his book, and he will give you a lot of tips about saving for an emergency fund, getting out of debt, all that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily believe in everything he says, but for the most part, he's really good with the having money for a rainy day because it will come. So that's really good. Also, you need to be tracking your business. And in the training program, I give a whole spreadsheet on how do you track your business and all this kind of stuff. But you need to know when your expenses are coming. You need to know when your insurance is due. I know I pay my insurance yearly, and it's a hefty fee every single year. And so I'm always being prepared for it. I'm prepping for it throughout the year. Every single month I save so much so that when I get to August when it's due, I don't worry about because I guess I only pay once a year. I don't worry about making that payment. I don't have to put it on a credit card and pay interest on it. I'm prepared for it. So you need to track out your business. You need to make sure you have all this stuff in place. And look, if you want to go full time and you don't want to do this, you don't have to, but it's going to be a lot harder for you. It will be much, much harder for you if you don't have these things in place, if you don't have these processes in place. And so that's one of the things as well. You need to be professional. You need to put it all together. You need to track your business. You need to see where are your expenses coming from? Where is your money going when you make this money? How much money do you make on average per each gig? Like your profit margin, if you've ever heard that, it's basically a percentage, and it is how much money you are making per dollar you are making, right? So maybe you charge, let's just say $200. It's low, I know, I'm just going to pick a number, and it costs you $50 to do the event. That means that your profit margin would be $75, right? Because if it costs you $50 and you make 200, what is it? 50 divided by 200? 50, yeah. Okay. 50 divided by 200 is 75%. And it's going to range for you. Some things are going to have a lot higher margins and some things are going to have much lower margins. You need to figure that out so that you know how much money you're actually going to make. You bring in $1,000, how much is that going to make you? You bring in $3,000, how much money are you actually making? And if you haven't listened to the investments, podcast, definitely go check that out. The upsells and the investments, it kind of goes over some of that stuff. And how much money you make, the ROI, the return that you're going to make, all that kind of stuff, really, really important stuff in there. So definitely go check out those podcasts after this one. But for right now, when is it really time to go full time? I mean, I know I give you kind of a snarky answer, but when is it time? I think the main thing that you have to look for is how much money are you making right now? How much are you living on? And that's going to depend for tons of different people, right? And then how many gigs would you have to make that same amount? And how many are you currently at? And how many leads do you get coming in? So what I mean by that is, I think it's time to go full time when you are turning down more work than you are accepting, right? So let's say that you get 4 gigs, 4 leads, 4 people requesting your services every single Saturday. And you have to turn all of these gigs because like you're already booked with here, and like you can't do it because you have family and like you have all this stuff, and if you were able to reorganize your schedule, you could do it, that is definitely important. So when is it time to go full time? I think it's when you have so much work that you're like, okay, like I'm getting all these things and I just can't do them because it's interfering, it's conflicting with my day job. If it's conflicting with your day job, that means that you have a conflict. So you're going to have to choose one or the other. And which one are you going to choose? Could you actually make more money as a DJ? And this is why I said find your profit margin. How much money are you actually going to make? Because it's easy to say, oh yeah, well, if I bring in, let's just say $50,000. If I bring in $50,000, that's how much I make at my normal job. But the problem with that is that you don't make $50,000. That's your top line, but what's your bottom line, right? The top line is the sales. Then you have all the stuff in between, all the expenses. What's the bottom line? Because really, I don't know, it depends on you, but you could be at 35,000 and that's not the same as 50,000. So how do you get that 50,000 up there? You got to find your profit margin. Okay. So let's just say I'm going to do some math right now on my phone while I'm recording this. So let's say you make 35,000 and we're going to divide that out of 50,000. So that means your profit margin is 70%. So every dollar that you make, you're pocketing 7 cents. Now, all the expenses. I mean, that's music. That's your gear. That is gas to and from. That's your car depreciation, your mileage. That is your kind of your taxes, I guess, would fall in there. Your taxes, your insurance, your services, your training at DJ TJ training, your all of that stuff are expenses. So, like, let's say if I do CO2, right? I spray off the CO2. That would be an expense. I could write that off. Your uplights that you're going to buy, all that kind of stuff. Those would be your expenses. So, if your profit margin is 70%, so you make $100, you pocket $70. You make $1,000, you pocket 700. How much would you have to make top line to make $50,000? So what we're going to do is we're going to do 50,000 divided by 0.7. That means you have to make $71,000, $71,428. So you have to make $70,000 to meet the same level as your current job. Okay, so let me put that back into perspective. If you make $50,000 as a DJ, that means you really only profit, depending on your business, $35,000. So if you want to make $50,000 and actually pocket and profit $50,000 for your DJ business, that means you have to book over $70,000 worth of gigs. Okay. Now, how will you get there? Is it possible for you to actually get there? Because the worst thing that you want to do is you want to quit your job, you start DJing, and then you're just stuck at where you are, and now you're lower than before, and it's all bad. That's no good. Also, think about this, okay? Let's say you are doing $40,000 in DJ sales, okay? And that is, let's just say profit. You're profiting $40,000, and you need to get up to 50 because you make $50,000 at your other job. Okay. So you are currently profiting $50,000 from your DJ business, and you make $50,000 at your other job. All you're thinking to yourself is, oh, well, I just had to make $10,000 more and I'll be good to go, right? Because I make $50,000 at the other job. Here's the problem with that. You have to add those two numbers together because you're making $40,000 from the DJ and $50,000. If you quit that daytime job, now you're down to $40,000 instead of $90,000. So make sure that you have those numbers in place. Make sure that you're actually thinking the whole entire thing through, because what may happen is then you're stuck and you're like, whoa, I have a lot less money than I really planned on, and it's all going to go bad. Okay. And another thing, don't quit your job and don't go full time as a DJ if you are doing it out of spite. If you're doing it to spite your boss, because you just hate your boss, because you just want to quit, you want to quit bad, don't do it for that reason. Okay? Don't quit your job because you don't like it. Okay? That's don't do that. Don't quit your job just because you just want to do it. That's not how to do it. Be smart about this, okay? Be really smart. I was just reading a really good book, and what it did was it talked about thinking clearly. It's called The Art of Thinking Clearly, and basically it talks about a lot of different kind of cognitive biases, which is kind of like how your brain gets tricked and how you may believe something that isn't true. And so one of the things, the first one was actually it's called the survivorship bias. The survivorship bias. And so what it did was it says, well, look at Google. They were super successful and they started in their garage. You're pretty much saying, therefore, if I start in my garage, I'll be successful. And hey, look at Apple. I mean, they started from nothing and they grew and became this huge company. Look at Uber. I mean, they're a super successful company. Look at this DJ over here that went full time. He's super successful. And hey, look at that one over there. The problem with that statement is that you're only looking at the successful ones. You're not looking at all the other ones that weren't successful. So I think what sometimes DJs do is they look at successful DJs and they're like, well, look, he's doing it, I can do it too. Instead of looking at the other 10 DJs that failed going full time and went back to their day job. So, and I recommend getting that book. That's a really good book, just for kind of like life. It's really interesting. But the survivorship bias is very true with DJs. They look at other DJs, see them making it, and think they can do the same. Look, I will be the first one to tell you it is extremely hard to go full time as a DJ, and just looking at other DJs is not necessarily the best measure of hey, well, he's making it full time. So don't just look at other DJs and say, oh, hey, they're doing it. And talk to other DJs. Talk to other DJs in your town. See what they're doing. See how they're doing it. Because you may be surprised. You may be surprised because they're actually working it. And the successful ones, this is a business. And I know that DJing and DJs have a negative connotation. They kind of just have a bad reputation, and that's what I'm trying to change with TJ training and doing this podcast and doing the YouTube videos and having the training programs and on social media and giving you guys tips. I'm trying to change that because I think that isn't necessarily true. But look at it from this point of view. If you were a business owner of a plumber, right? A plumber is a business owner. That's what you are. You aren't a DJ, because a DJ does have a negative reputation, but a business owner, you're a business owner now. So think of it that way. Don't think of it as I'm just a DJ, whatever. You're running a business, so run it. Run a successful business and do it. Altogether, yeah, if you're asking, it's not time to go full time. Just wait. You will know. You will be turning down so much work. You will be like, oh man, I wish I could help you, but I have my day job. I wish I could help you, but I can't do it. I wish I could help you X, Y, and Z. And you will just say to yourself, if only I could go full time. And the light bulb will click and it will all go together and it will be, okay, there we go. It's time. And that is when I would not suggest quitting then. Wait, live on as little as possible, save up as much money as possible, have tons of money in the bank so that if something happens, when you go through a dry season, you will be okay. Because trust me, the worst thing that could happen is you start getting desperate, you start pressuring clients, you start dropping your prices, you get a bad reputation, everything's going to go bad, you're going to be harder on clients, you're going to be trying to get more money out of them when they're like, no, dude, it's fine, we don't want that thing, and you're just trying to push them and it's going to go horrible. Please trust me, save up money so that you aren't in that situation, and when the time comes, you can spend it, you'll be relaxed, you won't be stressed out, but you need to have that money. So make sure you do that, and don't spend that money on a lavish vacation. Don't spend that money on anything that's an emergency fund that is for you, to protect you in case when something goes bad, because it will happen. Trust me, we've all had it, and if somebody hasn't had it, they're lying. Okay, if somebody says that they've never had that slow season, they're lying. It is what it is. Just they're lying. Okay. So thank you for listening to this podcast. I am really excited that you are listening to the Peak Period Podcast, episode 26. Is it time to go full time as a DJ? And I really look forward to next week's podcast. We are going to have some cool guests coming up. So definitely subscribe if you are on YouTube or iTunes. Hit thumbs up, hit the rating. I really appreciate it. It really does help us out. I know it may not seem like it, but it really does. So thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I have an open line of communication, and I want to help you guys. I want to help you guys one-on-one. I want to help you. So reach out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next week.